Hello friends, and firstly thank you to my friend Richard, who is very kind, a watcher of the weekly Parsha videos. He's given me this nice little handheld device to record the videos with. You can't see it because I'm holding it, but thank you, Richard. Uh, you may hear this comment, often shared as, wise words of advice, sagely advice. Don't forget where you've come from. And indeed, they are wise and very important words of advice. And they're important, but there's another really key message that needs to come together with that. And we find it cryptically within the discovery of discussion that's happening within this week's Parsha. So there's a moment in which, as Jacob's days are numbered and he's about to pass on, Joseph brings his two sons that were born in Egypt. Don't forget, he's been separated from his family for a very long time, and he wasn't sure about what his future held for him. And in his exile, while he's in Egypt, he has two children, Manasseh and Ephraim. And he gives them those names for particular reasons. Manasseh was his name, or it means that, Yosef was trying to perpetuate through his name that even though I've been, disconnected from my heritage, from where I've come from the culture that I've been brought up in, I'm going to hold on tight to that, and I'm not going to forget it. And then he had a second son whose name was Ephraim, and he gives him that name because the Hebrew word Ephraim, the Hebrew name Ephraim, means to be successful and to multiply, to succeed in the space in which he was at the time. And those were two key messages that Joseph lived with, which was, on the one hand, don't forget where you've come from. But on the second, and the second thing that comes together with that is, don't be a victim of your circumstances and succeed in whatever it is that you do, in whatever circumstances that you are in. And there's this moment where Jacob comes to place his hands upon the children, on the heads of the children of Joseph. And Joseph places the elder to the right of Jacob and the younger to the left, but Jacob moves his hands and places the right hand on Ephraim, the younger, and the left hand on Manasseh, the older. And at first Joseph's startled, and there's different commentaries as to what was the reason behind this, but one of the really interesting ones was that Jacob was trying to share a message with us, and that a message that holds true till today, 4,000 years later, and that is that we'll face diversity, we'll face change, we'll face the ups and downs and the inevitable change that culture brings to us and life brings to us. And there's two key messages to take there. One is, don't forget where you've come from. But the other important one is that you need to be able to succeed and thrive in the environments that you are. And by placing his right hand on Ephraim, Jacob was essentially saying that if there were an important one, if there were a one to highlight and to stress, it's the latter. Succeed, go ahead, don't be afraid, don't be intimidated by the challenges of change and difference. Put your best foot forward and do the absolute best that you can. So Shabbat Shalom, L'chaim, and we look forward to seeing you all very soon.